These are the trades that I took yesterday. I had a bit of a losing day, but a loss is just a lesson, so I can help you guys as well learn from my mistakes. So no news trading GU and EU. We had a bullish New York session and then a bearish Asia session on both pairs. Bullish, bearish. We have New York low, Asia high. Not much to go off. I had this equilibrium marked out from this high to low on the 1 hourly. The 4 hourly is not doing too much. We're bullish on here, and I think we're bearish on here. Yeah, we broke structure. So 1 hour's, or 4 hours not doing much. 1 hour equilibrium. The first trade I took was on EU off of this 1 hour equilibrium. So what we saw pre-market, we broke structure. So we had these up moves, but we already broke structure pre-market. So I was waiting for a retrace candle. Then a fair value gap was formed. Equilibrium and this fair value gap was tapped. Then on the 1 minute, we got a break of structure here. We were like closing at highs. We technically got a break structure on this candle, but I wasn't buying it. And then here we closed at this high as well, and then we waited for this one more candle, and the pips wasn't really moving that much either. Even though the candles look big, the pips amount wasn't much. And then this trade actually was like rage baiting me, because first off, I open my phone and I buy 2 longs on GU, the wrong pair. And I'm like, why is it going down? I'm legit, it's going up. I'm watching it go up, and I'm seeing on my phone I'm going down. I'm like, holy, it's in GU. So I exit them at like break even or a little bit of profit, and I end up losing like $10 to commission fees. And then so I go long on EU quickly, and then it enters me all the way up here at 0.81 when price was all the way down here. And then I'm now like, dang, I've got to have a tight stop loss. So I put, that's fine, put it at this fair value gap that's being respected, cool. And now I'm like, damn, I have to target Asia high for like a good risk reward, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to target these 3 5-minute equal highs right here for at least a TP1. And none of them would have got hit anyway, so it was fine. But I ended up losing a bit more from commission for accidentally buying on GU. We ended up losing this position here. On my broker, it got stopped out. But yeah, didn't win that one. Now, what can I learn from that is the 1 hour equilibrium, that is just like really low confluence. There wasn't any Asia lows to target. New York lows all the way down here. Going off of this 4 hour, we were bearish. Dang, this was the bearish one. I was looking for longs on GU as well, but we didn't get any. We inversed this gap. We tapped this gap, but there wasn't anything good out of it. And GU was my short pair if we were going short, because we had this 1 hour fair value gap here. So that was like 30 minutes into market open. The EU trade, cool, we got stopped out. I can go short on GU. We have this 1 hour fair value gap. We tapped it. We also tapped equilibrium from that high, not that high. We got 5 minute, we had consolidation around here, and then bang, we had big down moves on mainly EU. Could delete that. Mainly EU, we had these giant down moves, very explosive on the 1 minute. Doesn't look like much here, but you can see on the 1 minute it just exploded down, especially on EU, if I could find it right here. Bang. So what I waited for was a equilibrium on at least EU as well as GU. So EU went down a lot. I wanted to have a bigger retrace on EU than just going off of maybe this up move here, tapped EQ on GBP USD, but it's likely gonna continue up because EU hasn't tapped it. So that was my thought process. We can see there was a trade off of EQ. I'm saying EQ, GU, and EU a lot. This is messing me up. We tapped this equilibrium fair value gap, big down move, didn't enter there. We come up further, EU tapped equilibrium at this move. We see a big down move, break structure, and then instantly get stopped out. And while I was backtesting this morning, what I learned from this was when we have huge down moves after some consolidation, is it can go in the other direction. I don't want to say usually, because I only saw this once backtesting, and then I realized it looked familiar to the loss. We end up having these big down moves, and on EU it would have been better because we have this consolidation. We have a huge down move this consolidation is like shaking a can of Coke. You're shaking it, and then it finally opens it and releases the pressure, and that's that big down move. And then instead of going even more down, we just release all the pressure. It's likely going to just slowly go up, which is exactly what happened. Let's see if there was a position here, because I haven't actually looked at it. We see this down move, maybe we're still in 1 hour equilibrium, so guess that could be the high time frame confluence. We don't really get much. Break of structure at 6:30. That's already 2 hours into market. Yeah. But we do see that price does end up going up after this big down move. On GU, maybe it was better. Let's check that out. Whoops. Yeah, this was a good learning day. What I can learn from this trade as well is that taking it just off of that huge down move, we were kind of consolidating, weren't really doing much. Wasn't high confluence, really. But yeah, we see this big down move. Do we break structure? Because we close at that high. Candle down, candle. Candle down, okay. Not really much hit either. We end up, London session does not look that great. We end up going up on GU though, and on EU. So yeah, that's something to look at. That was my 2 lessons I learned yesterday. It was fine because the funded account, to pass it, I need to trade 3 minimum days anyway for phase 1. So I had a bit lower risk on the first trade than usual, and then the second trade I went as low as my 5k account risk. So imagine I'm on the 10k, I'm going down to the 5k risk. It wasn't that much to learn some lessons. That's everything I have to talk about. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.